What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Ethereum. We're also going to get in some altcoins right now. Ethereum's at $991. It's down about 21%. And what I want to point out here, guys, we hit our all-time high overhead resistance at that 1,376. We wicked up to it. And for the last week or so, we were looking at these candles right up here. And the reason why I mentioned this is so that you can learn this type of stuff for the next time this happens. So a lot of times when you get these high wave candles, doji candles, different things like that, and you're in that territory of up in the 80s or 90s on the RSI, many times it'll show we're going to get a nice little correction. You can see back in this area where we had that nice correction, then we got moving again. Now, typically these corrections can be between about, what I've noticed is 4 to 10 days, somewhere right in that range. So this could take a while here. We could even bounce back up, move sideways for a little bit. This could take some time, but what this also presents is here how we've talked about putting, limit buy orders on the 20 EMA, even down to that 50 moving average. Sometimes you can get those long wicks down through and you can pick some up. So what we've had today is this big cooling down period. The RSI right now on the one-day chart, and that's what we're going to be looking at here, is at 56. That's so much healthier than being up there around 90, because take a look at what we have to do next. So this is our all-time high. If we can get up above that area, so we'll even push it up a little bit higher here. So we'll go all-time high, roughly about $1,424, that area there. As we were approaching that, we were up in the 90s on the RSI, and that's a big overhead resistance to get through. We want the market to have that nice cooling down period so that now we can go back up and try to get through that, and we have room where we're not in overbought territory. So I think this is a really healthy thing for Ethereum, for Bitcoin, the altcoins to be cooling down so that we can make those next explosive moves. It may take some time, may take some days, a week or two, but I do believe we're going to be moving back to the upside in the days, weeks, and months to come. And this is a pretty big drop here. I mean, we're looking at 20%. That's why I always try to tell people, don't chase the market. Because when you start getting nervous and you're FOMOing and everything, many people are going to start taking profits at that area. And what I've actually learned is I have a few people who, once they text me and say, hey, should I buy some more Bitcoin? Should I buy some altcoins, this or that? Many times that's almost a marker in terms of the top where we may be for Bitcoin, because people are starting really to just talk about it, and you're getting that extreme FOMO, and then we have that big correction and people buy in at the top and then it dumps on them. And that's just what happens. So I almost use that as a gauge. When people are saying, hey, should I buy? Should I buy? That's when I should start using those trailing stop losses up. That's just one mechanism along with price action and everything. But it's the truth, because it will show you what the actual sentiment is out there. And many times we'll get a little bit too overextended in the space. So I think this is a really healthy correction. And this is why you don't chase the markets. You always have opportunities like this, and just put those buying orders in good support areas. And that's why we look at the upside and the downside. So what we have to do in terms of finding support now, we need a daily candle close. We have not had our close yet. We need a daily candle close up above our 20 EMA. That's going to be at $959. So that's what we need to close up above. If we get up above that, the next resistance area, we're going to look at $1,117. Then it'd be up to around that $1,310 is going to be the overhead resistance. In terms of support, we talked about that 20 EMA. And then I also have an alert here at about $852. Then be down around that 50 moving average there, that 50 EMA at $767. But what's going to be most important is what type of bounce we end up getting out of here. If it's on weak volume, then we may be having another leg down, and I want you to prepare for that, because that can definitely happen. If it's just a little weak volume bounce here, we can have that next leg to the downside. Now, if we get a big swell of volume, this could have been all the cooling down that we needed, and we can get moving again. So it's going to be very interesting where the daily candle closes today and what happens tomorrow, and what type of bounce that we actually do get out of this. And I'll be looking at that on like the 4-hour time frame to really watch this type of stuff. But stock, you can see, is breaking to the downside as well. We're at 70 and 88. Before we were at 100 and 100, so we were basically pegged out. So I think this is really healthy for the market. Cool it down. Let's see where we can find some support. So we're going to get in some more altcoins, guys, but if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell me what you're doing. Are you buying this dip? Are you patiently waiting? Are you continuously holding? Did you trail up the price with the trailing stop losses like we've talked about? And did you get stopped out on this move? I'd love to hear it down low. What's going on with your positions as well. Litecoin at 127 right now. We'll take a look at that. So Litecoin, if you would have had buy orders down on this 50 right here, that would have been at $116. That would have been a nice little buy. You can see we're up around 127 right now. We're down 25%. Guys, is how explosive it gets. I mean, that's why you always got to be prepared for these type of things. Daily candle close is going to be the key. We would like to close up above roughly about $123 is going to be our support. If we can't close up above that, it would be roughly staying up above that 50 at 116 is going to be the area. And overhead resistance, we'd go at 135 and then be around 142. RSI is back down around 46 on the 1 day, and the stock's at 58 and 82. And guys, this is just how this space kind of works in terms of, when you look at the regular stock market, it'll just creep up, creep up, creep up. Then you'll have these nice little retracements. But in cryptocurrency, it's like 1 or 2 candles. That's just a massive blast to the downside, and then you can get moving again. I mean, even back in this area for Litecoin, we had about 3 days to the downside, and then we got moving again. Here we had about 8 days. We got moving again. Another 5 days. We were moving again. We consolidated sideways, pushed up. So we're going to have to see what type of correction this is going to be. Like we talked about with Ethereum, are we going to have heavy volume when we get out of this? Or if this is going to be a light volume move up, and then we're going to have another wave to the downside, and we could hit some lower targets as well that could present some buying opportunities for the longer term. Obviously not financial advice. So that's going to be Litecoin, guys. Remember all this area up here, all these type of candles, that's what you always want to watch for. And eventually the dump will come. Okay? Next one we're going to get into, let's see here. Bitcoin Cash had a pretty big dump, down 27%. It's at $438 right now. We'll take a look at that. Screaming candle to the downside once we hit resistance. So support and resistance, like we always talk about, extremely important in this space. So we dumped around $594. We went as low as $402. So yet again, having those buying orders down in these areas, guys, you can catch some really fun stuff here in this space. I think that's the way to do it, just because of how extreme. I mean, look at this candle right to the upside, and then boom, right back on your face. I mean, that's the name of the game. But I do think this is healthy for the market. Still up above our 20, our 50, our 100, and our 200 moving average. RSI at 54, stocks at 75 and 87, crossing to the downside there. So let's see if we can have a daily candle close up about that 425. If we do get up above that, we'd try to look up to around that 497 right now. But yet again, just the way the market's going to recover, that's what I'm looking in the days to come here. ADA is at 25 cents. We'll take a look here. If you like me covering ADA, let me know down low. I've had a few people say they wanted me to cover it, so we'll take a look here, do what we can. So we're up above our 20, EMA, our 50, our 100, and our 200. RSIs at 56, stocks at 56 and 66, crossing to the downside with these little almost tweezer tops up at the top there. We made it up as high as 36 cents. So overhead resistance, first one would be around 30 cents, then be up to around 33 cents, and we just continue to want to see what type of bounce we get out of here. But, ADA has been a strong one. It's had a really nice trend going here. I believe this is still healthy. This calming down of the market, this cooling down of the market. Guys, typically that's just is what it is. You can see back in these areas, when we pump, we dump. When we pump, we dump. It's the name of the game. Even after this explosive move here, we ended up spending from July 25th to about September 25th, right in that range, in this downtrend here. So sometimes these can last a little bit longer. You can consolidate sideways for quite a bit of time. So that's why you always want to have a plan of what you're trying to do here in terms of accumulating or trading. Always want to have a plan. Lower support, we'd want to hold overall about 17 cents. Wouldn't want to go much below that. That could present a nice little potential buying area if we get back into this range here. So that's going to be ADA. Let's take a look at Link. All right, so with Link, we ended up getting to around $18.54. Profit has since been taken. We've dropped down to the 50, even wicked down to that 100. So overall, we want to stay up above this 200. We've defended it both times. We've gotten down to that area. The 200 would be around $11.08. So we don't want to go lower than that. We don't want candle closes below that. That's going to be an important area to watch. If we do get a little bounce out of this, I'd look roughly to about $13.87 is overhead resistance, then around $14.50 is going to be the overhead resistance mark. You can see we had some higher volume selling off, but when you look at the big picture for Link here and we step back, if and when we can get over top of this $20, it's blue sky breakouts, and that's when things yet again can get very exciting. We're still overall in a nice little uptrend here. So that's nothing I'm freaking out about or anything like that. I mean, this is market movements, guys. You can see all the way up when we were pumping, profit taking, pumping, profit taking, pumping, profit taking. So when people say you're never going to get another opportunity, don't believe it. There's so many opportunities in this space. Try not to FOMO. Don't chase price. Let the price come back to you. If it doesn't come back to that area, look at another great coin that you can get in. There's 7,000 of them out there. So there's so much to get into. But, you know, guys, this is what I wanted to bring today. Just a little quick update on the altcoins. Don't stress out. Don't freak out. We got to continue to wait and see what type of a bounce we get out of here. But this is part of the market. If you want to play with the big boys, you know, the whales and everything, this is part of the game, and you got to be strong, and you got to have those buying opportunities ready. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.